From Fresno, California, Ed Bourdase. From Los Angeles, California, a great young star, Ron Winger. Everybody, and welcome once again from the beautiful Emerson Lanes here in the industrial city of Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. It's Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show with the world's greatest bowlers in match game competition every week. Over $75,000 in prizes. This is Fred Wolf. Two more of our field of 24 of the nation's top stars, a three-game match, $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the runner-up. All competition here sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. 300 games are worth $10,000. On top of all that, $250 for 5 strikes in a row in any one game, and $50 more for every strike on top of that. Looks like a great match. Two Californians, Ron Winger from Los Angeles and Ed Bourdase from Fresno, California, will be ready for the first of 3 games in just one moment. It's the first game of 3. Bourdase, the big husky lad, does not get up there, misses the head pin, the 1, the 2, and the 8. Born in Oakland, California, a California boy all the way, born back in 1928 on the West Coast, Edward Henry Bourdase. The boys have nicknamed this fella Pop Bottles. Of course, has some relation to his glasses, which he's worn for many years. The 1, the 2, and the 8, and he covers a nice shot. His young opponent, also from California, Los Angeles, Ronald Clark Winger, born in 1941, some years after Ed Bourdase got started. Here's a fella that can really fire. Big turn, deep angle. He's in and he carries. Strike in the first frame. This fella, for 6 games on Championship Bowling, is averaging .206. In the Winston-Salem series, after a slow start, came back with .678. His high game is .246. Bourdase was the runner-up. Runner-up to Johnny Gunther in the Winston-Salem series. So Ronnie now moves to the left. His nickname, Wing Ding. Ring-a-ling-a-ding, ding-ding. Winger, hurry up. He doesn't get there, leaves the 2-5. The 5 is out. With us this week, Joe Donato from Schenectady, New York. And Joe, got a couple of real peggers here, don't you think?
You know it, Freddie. 2 good real shooters here.
What do you think of this youngster? He seems to be coming along
yes,
great shape.
Wonderful.
He's got a lot of speed, good reach, covers the spare. And Ronnie, of course, being the youngster that he is, loves to practice, never gets tired, has no finger problems. Always will take advice from the boys that have been around as Bourdase moves in now on the right side. Winger unable to get the double. Bourdase on the spare, sets it out there, and he doesn't get there again. This time, nothing but the 2 pin. So Ed has been short, missed the head pin in the first frame, just got a small piece of it here in the second frame. Bourdase has a .217 average for 12 games on Championship Bowling. Has rolled 1,700 total. His high single game has been .255. He's had 5 300 scores. One of them sanctioned back in 1960. Won the West Coast match game title in 1961. Was a member of the ABC team champions in Detroit in 1961. member of the All-West Coast team in '61 as the leadoff man. Won his first big title back in 1952, the California State Singles. Ed Bourdase. On 2 spares. There it is. Solid 10. Can't hit him any better than that. Joe was an AMF mechanic for many years, now a professional bowler. Well acquainted with the AMF pin spotter. He knows it from the back end, and he knows quite a lot about it from this end. At the 10-pin, cross lane, Bourdase has the spare. So Bourdase, after being short for 2 frames, got one in the pocket but lost the 10 as the youngster, Ron Winger, moves in on the right side. Ronnie started with a strike. Was a little short in the 2nd frame. Deep angle, sets it. Here it comes. The 10 is out of there. Oh, this boy throws a heavy ball, wouldn't you say, Joe? It seems to go in the pocket heavy.
Beautiful. They were hit.
We see young Denny Godfrey from WPAR here in Parkersburg in the audience this afternoon, very interested in these professional bowlers. Maybe dropping in on us occasionally as competition keeps going here at the Emerson Lanes in Parkersburg. Look at that! Look at that! Well, a 5-7, and this youngster had them dancing, and Mr. Bourdase is going to have to get moving, or this fellow will be long gone. Bourdase moving in on the right side, throws the 3-finger ball, fingertip, the wide span. He's up short, just outside of the 12-foot line, stands erect. Now the turn, and he is short again, this time the 2-4-5. How do you rate a spare like this, Joe? Pretty tough?
Oh, it's my toughest, that's for
It's
sure.
your toughest spare.
Yes, it is.
Well, you can see on the exclusive AMF spare maker, it simply says put the ball between the 2 and the 5.
Right.
Ed moving slightly left. Trying to get the ball to roll into the pin. Oh, he didn't get there. He left the 4-pin. And suddenly, Mr. Ron Winger has himself quite a lead. Ronnie sits on 2, and Bourdase is open. Ed looking for his first strike. Shaking his head. There's a good read. This time the 4-pin. Ed carries out that theory, the thumb at 11 o'clock. Joe, is that what some of the boys talk about? You notice how he puts the thumb in last,
yes,
points it up there, and then holds it in that position practically until he releases it.
I've never seen anyone like Bourdase going up to the approach. Real smooth, reaches, does everything right.
Well, there's the cover for Ed Bourdase in the 5th, 64 and a spare, and Ed's looking for his first strike, and he's going to watch his young opponent, Ronald Clark Winger, wingding himself from Los Angeles, who didn't start bowling until 1955, but he's coming along in great shape. On 2, he throws too high. He is wide open. So the youngster was unable to take advantage. The double against the open. Winger will still have about a 10-pin margin at the end of 5 here in the first game. Ronnie will just take 2. Take the 9. So at the end of 5 of the first game, Bourdase, 64 spare, Winger, 95 and open. In the 6th, Ron Winger. That's 1. No mistake on that one. So Ronnie, after being wide open on top of the double, comes right back. Still room for 5 in a row, which, of course, is worth $250 extra in bonus money, and every strike on top of 5 in any one game, $50 additional. Of course, these boys thinking of the $1,000, which goes to the winner, and getting that good total so that in their second appearance, when they will meet different opponents, will have a chance to make the final. There's the strike. And Ed Bourdase gets the first strike for himself in the 6th. Bourdase to the left for the double. Gets there and shakes them up. So Edward Henry Bourdase now on the move as he picks up his first double. He has a miss. Winger moves in on the right. Ronnie works on a strike. The 1962 Bowler of the Year in Southern California, the youngest bowler to ever win that honor. Here he comes. There's a double. Ronnie was a little surprised with that one. That's what we call the old accordion ball, Joe.
The umbrella ball.
The umbrella ball.
Oh, that was
good.
stuff
Down in
on that
Schenectady, I guess they call everything a little different.
Right.
We mentioned this fella, Ronnie, being the youngster that he is, was the 1962 Southern California Bowler of the Year. 3 years previous to that, he was the Southern California Junior Bowler of the Year. And it was then that they said this boy was going to become quite a star. And I believe he has certainly arrived. What is that? Oh, that's sharpshooting right there. This kid lays them in, no doubt about it. That's 3. He's 2 away from the 5 in a row, and Bourdase steps in the 8 on 2. Count too high, 6-10. Ed just a bit too late with that one. Ed Bourdase, the runner-up in the Winston-Salem, North Carolina Championship Bowling Series. Runner-up to Johnny Gunther from Seattle, Washington. You've watched championship bowling over the years from cities all over the nation. Television's #1 bowling show. Look out, he's good. You've watched many of these great stars in action from Chicago, Illinois, Paramus, New Jersey, Louisville, Kentucky, Chicago Heights, Illinois, Coral Gables, Florida, Skokie, Illinois, Toledo, Ohio, Northbrook, Illinois, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And here we are this year in Clarksburg, West Virginia, in the heart of the Ohio Valley, at the Emerson Lanes. Bourdase in the 9th. 4-pin stops him. Is that what I said? Clarksburg? I better correct that. Thanks, John. John Milanese, my statistician here and the manager, says it's not Clarksburg. I know it isn't Clarksburg. I don't know why I said Clarksburg. I don't even know where Clarksburg is. We're in Parkersburg. Okay, Parkersburg, there's the start. Parkersburg. I'll have it memorized, John, probably in a few more weeks.
Clarksburg will appreciate it.
Clarksburg? Where is Clarksburg? Is that near? Oh, it's near here. Well, that's good. At least I was close. There's another one. So Ronnie Winger now moves to the left. 4 in a row. He needs this one. What do you say, Joe? You give him a chance at this?
I hope he gets, yes. The way he's throwing that ball, he'll have to go all the way.
You don't think that this $250 thing has anything to do with...
a little bit.
A little bit. All right, let's watch the youngster now. 4 in a row. $250 right now with this strike.
Looks good.
Come on, boy. Here! Oh. And you can't throw a better one than that. He had 3 pins slide in front of that 7.
It's a tough way to lose it.
So Ronnie Winger with 4 in a row and a buzz from the crowd. They were all for the youngster. Boy, he threw a powerhouse that time. Wasn't the solid variety, but that shaker that I believe a bowler gets more out of than the solid hit. There's the cover. And the youngster will have to settle for $224. Well, with that strike, it'd have been worth $250. He had room for 2 more. He has a comfortable margin on his opponent, Ed Bourdase from Fresno, California. But there are 2 games remaining, and he might need every one he's got. The count for 2-2-4. Oh, look at that. You think possibly he wanted to make sure he wasn't too high on that first one, Joe? He gave it room, didn't he?
Should have went, though.
And it's
a real good hit.
It had everything there, but the 7 didn't move. So Bourdase moves in on the right, and a chance to pick up 10 pins. He's 151, spare in the 9th. Here it comes. He leaves the 7 pin on a shaker. Bourdase on the Professional Bowlers Tour, Winter Tour of '63, averaged 207, won himself close to $5,000, made the semifinals in both the World's Invitational and the National All-Star. in 1963. At the 7-pin, the cover. This boy was a great athlete as a youngster. Played semi-pro football. He was a great quarterback. He was a pitcher in baseball. Pretty stocky built boy, weighs 194 pounds. He doesn't look that heavy. 5 feet 11. The count for 190. Well, he kicked the 4 out of there. Well, it looks like a good match going here between two Californians, Ron Winger and Ed Bourdase. We'll be back for the second game of 3 here at the Emerson Lanes in Parkersburg, West Virginia. This is Fred Wolf along with Joe Donato. Don't go away. There's a lot of action coming. Ronnie Winger from Los Angeles. Old Wing Ding himself off with 224. The youngster winds one up, sets it there. He's into the 10-pin, stops him this time. 4 in a row going into the 10th frame. A 7-pin on a real smasher, a mixer. 3-pin sliding in front of the 7. He couldn't carry it, finished with 224, and the $250 bonus money sort of just got away from Ronnie. He's going after it this game. The 10-pin, cross lane, the extra speed, and he covers for spare. Ed Bourdase now, the Fresno, California star, moving in on the right, trailing by 34 pins in the battle of Californians here. Fresno versus Los Angeles. Big Ed. Pop bottles Bourdase, they call him. He dropped that one. The 1, the 2, and the 4. Ed missed the head pin in the first frame of the first game. Sitting in with us this week, Joe Donato from Schenectady, New York. Hurry up there, Ed. You got it? Joe, both these boys with these fingertips, this seems to be the trend amongst the great bowlers today, isn't it? More boys using the fingertip than the conventional?
Oh, yes, Frank. No comparison.
In other words, this gives you, your fingers are spread out more around the circumference of the ball, thereby more turn. Is that the idea?
That's right.
Still, they say the trend is the shorter, tighter hook. Isn't it hard to keep it tight?
Well, it is. All right, Eddie, just to bring out something here, he hasn't been getting the ball out like he normally does.
Well, he sure didn't get that one.
It's easy to see from back here.
Mm-hmm.
The one he does. He skids it like he did the last one.
The 1-2-10, Bourdase has missed the head pin again. That's the 3rd time, and this, of course, is the full penalty of missing the head pin. This is actually not a split. We like to call it a split. But according to ABC rules and regulation, when the head pin remains standing... Come on, boy. Oh! Boy, there's a tough shot.
That was a bad break.
The head pin going right around the 10, and Bourdase is open again. That's his 2nd miss. He missed in the 4th frame of the first game. He missed the 2-4-5. He didn't come up to it. And the youngster, Ronnie Winger, now realizes that if he can get loose here, he can pile himself up a pretty comfortable margin. Look out! Pretty tight. He broke it up to 4-7. Too slow on that one.
Yes, definitely.
Ronnie is actually the only member of his family interested in the game, at least as far as a bowler is concerned. His mother, father, and sister do not bowl. His father is a stagehand out in Hollywood, California. 4-7, covers the spare. Curiosity is what interested this youngster into getting into bowling. Back in 1955, a new beautiful bowling establishment was built right near Ronnie's home. He couldn't resist going in as it was being constructed. Finally, when the lanes were open, Ronnie had to try it, and here he is. His first year, he averaged 123. He's been going up ever since.
Got that out. Beautiful.
So Ronnie, with a strike in the 3rd, finds himself now some 12 pins out in front in the 2nd game. Ed Bourdase, who did such a great job in the Winston-Salem series down in North Carolina. 10 pin stops him. Ed was a member of the Fresno Bombers in the defunct National Bowling League, bowling for Fresno, and he made his home there, and he's been there ever since. The 10-pin, cross lane. Little extra speed on this shot, Joe. Isn't that the idea?
Yes, it is. Right there.
Very smooth. Joe, I can't help but notice a resemblance here in style, at least, between Bourdase and Joe Joseph.
Yes.
You feel that
they're both very smooth, yes.
They both bowl
same speed, too.
Same speed and much the same delivery. Not at the start, of course, but when the ball is released, they are in very much the same position.
I'd say Eddie's got one more ball.
More ball.
Yes.
Too high, leaves the 6-pin. So Bourdase fishing, unable to get out of here. He caught himself a double in the 6th and 7th frame in the first game, and that's about it. He couldn't get started, waited 6 frames to get his first strike, then made it good in this game. He's left a 10-pin, but he has missed the head pin twice. There's the cover. So Ronnie Winger now will move in on the right side. This fellow made the semifinals in 1963 in the National All-Star in Kansas City, where his idol, incidentally, his ideal, as he calls it, Dick Weber, became the champion. There's the cover and the double.
That's the speed, Fred. See the right speed right there.
Right. Cover that 4-pin up in great shape.
Beautiful.
That's what they call a fudge nudger, Joe, and you can fudge nudge that 4-pin out of there. Speaking of ideals, we talk about resembling people. Actually, Ronnie looks a little bit like Dick Weber at that.
Yes, he does. He's yeah, about the same bit.
Because he doesn't throw the ball like Dick. He's got
not
much
yet.
more speed and bigger backswing, and there's a 4-pin that stops him at 2.
Weber parts his hair different also.
Weber, he does part his hair.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they're both light complected. Their build, Ronnie weighs 145. I believe that Dick would check in around that 140-pound mark.
Not that much.
A little taller than Weber is. At the 4-pin, Ronnie covers it up. Ronnie tells us he was a quarterback in high school football. Looks a little small for a quarterback, doesn't he? 140 pounds.
Yeah. Must have had a lot of guts.
Yes, sir. Put a pair of extra-large shoulder pads on him. We could fool the opponents. Here's Bourdase now. We're in the 5th. Winger is 87 spare. Ed Bourdase lifted that out. No problem there. So at the end of 5 here, we are halfway in game number 2, halfway in the match. Bourdase is 65 strike. Winger is 87 spare. In the 6th frame, Bourdase is on a strike. He kicks the 4 out of there, and there is a double. So Bourdase now going into the last half of this match on 2. He'll have to have a big last half. He trails his young opponent by some 56 pins. Ron Winger moving in on the right side in that slight crouch. The big turn from the inside, and he carries. I'm sure that many of you have read and listened to these pro bowlers who say to relax yourself. That's one of Dick Weber's big points of sell on instructions. Feel comfortable before you start your approach to the line. Here's a study in that relaxation. Winger gets set, then he sort of bends his knees, as you notice now, gets himself loose, and then takes off. We want to watch Bourdase. Look out, he doesn't get there. The 1, the 2, and the 8 on the single strike, and Bourdase now can chop into that margin if he can come up with a couple of strikes on his 2 turns on the lanes, as Ronnie is unable to keep them going. He had 8 strikes the first game out of a possible 12. He had 1 open, and that was the 4, 6, 7 in the 5th frame. He followed that with 4, was unable to get the 5th one for the $250 bonus. Come on, boy. Oh, he got it. The ball following through, just picking up the 8. So at the end of 7, Winger is 127 spare, as Ed Bourdase now in position for the big move, working on 2 coming up in the 7th frame. Oakland, and Bourdase unable to answer the challenge too high, leaving the sixth pin, almost pulled it across far enough for the turkey. So Bourdase, who really needed that one, trails his opponent here now in the sixth by some 13 pins. He lost the first game by 34. So the margin getting up near 50 pins. Look out, he's got it. Well, that brought a little groan from the folks here in Parkersburg. Looked like Ed might have thrown that one out the window, but Ed knew from the start that he had that one covered. Gave it a little extra there over on the right side. We move into the eighth frame. Winger still kicking around 237. Bourdase has got to move. Big reach, too high, 4-7. Seems like Bourdase is varying his speed, Joe, wouldn't you say?
Yes, he is, Freddie. He's crowding. He's not letting the ball roll like he normally does.
Throwing a little faster on the left side than he is on the right.
Yes.
The 4-7 covered. And young Ronnie Winger moves in on the right side. Ronnie's big hobby out in California is water skiing. Says he loves to get on a pair of skis. Good.
Oh, beautiful.
Out, solid 10 pin.
That looked real good.
Foy Belcher, a great star, has had a lot to do with the progress of this youngster, Ronnie Winger. Actually, he was born in Preston, Idaho. Back in 1941, moved to Los Angeles when he was just a year old. Cross lane, little extra speed here. And look out, he covers the spread. Ronnie is one of the boys that keeps that pinky on top of the ball, Joe. What do you think of that idea? I notice quite a few of the boys do that.
Well, I've tried it, but it don't work for me.
Doesn't work for you.
I know a lot of fellows that do it. It seems to give them a little more stuff.
Of course, Don Carter's a great guy for that, folding that pinky in under his palm of his hand and riding the back of the ball. Watch that one move. Oh, boy. Very interesting in sitting here where Joe and I are sitting. Of course, when the ball is released and you can see the fingers do the work and the lift is there, that ball immediately begins to make its move.
That's right.
And when they don't get out of it the right way, we can see that too.
It looks good.
Takes it easy. All right. There's the big strike in the ninth. So going into the 10th, it's Bourdase 152 strike, Winger 166 strike. The margin, 48 pins.
Oh, he got that.
Never. Another washout for Bourdase, the 1-2-4-10.
Thought he rushed on that shot, Freddie.
To the line, too fast. Ed had the 1-2-10 in the second frame on this same lane. He hit the 1 pin, went right around the 10. Let's see what he does this time.
Look out.
Well, it's got a pretty good line on that 1-2-10, but I don't think he wants to shoot at that anymore. There it is. So easy. So Ronnie Winger now will move in on the right side. Takes a look at those 10 AMF tournament grade pins. All matched weights. Lanes have been reconditioned as they are for every match. We don't make it easy. The boys have got to work. Be careful. Hey, got a nice kick. Oh, how do you like that? Well, Ronnie trying to hide his face. He said to Ed, he says, if you want, I'll take it over, Ed. I just, but then we're not going to allow that. So Ronnie will have to take it. And old Wing Ding has himself a double and a chance for 226. Let's see what he can do with the lucky one. He's going to make it good. Go 4-pin. He crowded that one, and obviously, Joe, I think you'll agree, not the speed there that
That's right. He cut it short again.
And that made the ball crowd, and he left the 4-pin. He'll settle for 215. He'll pick himself up another 23 pins. So he should have himself a reasonably comfortable margin to carry him through game number 3 for the $1,000. There's the cover. And that's the story of the second game of 3 here on Championship Bowling, the #1 show in television, with Mr. Winger at 215 and Bourdase with 192. We'll be back for the third and final here at the Emerson Lanes in just a very interesting moment. Ed Bourdase from Fresno, California, starting the third and final game. He trails by 57 pins over his young opponent, Ronnie Winger from Los Angeles. Big Ed with the reach, sets, throws, he's in, he carries. So Bourdase now has only one way to go, and his young opponent, of course, trying to protect 57 pins for $1,000. Total pins, very important. Both of these boys will make another appearance on Championship Bowling here in Clarksburg, West Virginia, at the Emerson Lanes, Parkersburg, West Virginia. And, of course, they will meet a different opponent. Total pins for the 6 games will qualify the 2 finalists for a $15,000 added purse. Ronnie has missed the head pin. I believe that's the first time. No, he missed a head pin in the 7th frame of the second game. He's been in that pocket most of the time. Has lost some pretty good hits. The 1, the 2, and the 4, and he covers. Ronnie moves left. Bourdase in the position to cut down the margin. He is on the strike. Winger on a spare. Ronnie's had a total of 13 strikes. He had 8 strikes the first game, only 5 the second game, but he counted 2 of them for 2 doubles and 215 with no opens. Bourdase was open in the second, the 1-2-10. 1 double for 192. And Ronnie is short, leaves the 2-pin. This fellow drew a lot of attention in the ABC Masters tournament in Des Moines, 1962, when he was runner-up to Billy Golubevsky. He won 10 matches in a row, which is a record in ABC Masters competition. Covers his spare as Bourdase now moves in on the right side. Ed Bourdase, Edward Henry, Fresno, California. In position. Looks down at his fingers, gets his fingers in where he wants them. Then the moment of relaxation. The reach, and he's on the Brooklyn. He doesn't get across, leaves the 6-pin, and Mr. Bourdase is not getting that ball out in front, is he, Joe?
No, he isn't. He's not consistent at all. You don't see this too often with Ed. He's usually right out in front and reaching and bending a little lower, too. He's not doing that right now.
In other words, you feel he's probably raising his head a bit.
Yeah, he's not staying with the ball, Freddie.
That causes him to pull it. There's the cover. So Ed was unable to count his strike. So Winger still sits on 56 pins with 8 frames to go. You know, a common interest is a big asset in a happy marriage. And I'm sure you realize that bowling is one of the few sports in which husband and wife can participate together. Many married couple make it a regular weekly pastime. How about your family? Bourdase back in there.
A little more speed?
More speed, and the reach, too, is quite apparent, Joe. I hope our viewers are noticing that. It's very apparent when you watch it, and I'm sure Ed realizes it, but when you're out there throwing it, sometimes it's a little difficult to apply what you're thinking. Winger with a good turn. Doesn't touch the 4-7.
Oh, that really jumped in the end.
So Bourdase again in that position to make the move, and he's got to start counting the strikes as his young opponent seems to be filling the spares, and that's about it. Ronnie got away to a great start. caught a fast double early in the first game, then a 4-6-7. Followed that with 4 in a row for a 224 start. This fellow also was named the Southern California Bowler of the Year. Previous to that, he had been the Southern California Junior Bowler of the Year. There it is. So Winger now has winged himself another strike, and old Wing Ding takes his seat as Bourdase moves in to see what he can do about this youngster.
I didn't think he could throw a ball any better than Ronnie just did, Fred.
That was a
beautiful
fine line
right
and
speed,
solid.
Reached.
Ed's been having troubles here on the right side.
That's better.
That could be. That is. Well, Ed gave it a little room, decided to let the pins do a little work.
Roll that one.
And those AMF tournament grade pins responded beautifully, shakes them up for the double, and that takes 10 pins away from Winger. So Bourdase moves left now to try to make it 3.
Hold it. Beautiful.
Well, Bourdase now making his move, and it'll be interesting to see if the youngster can respond, because he's got to realize that Bourdase is coming, a great competitor and a great clutch man. And the clutch is beginning to clutch right now, and we'll see what Winger can do with it. Bourdase is on 3. Ronnie Winger way out there. It comes back, and he doesn't carry the 2 pins, so Mr. Bourdase now has picked up some 24 pins on his opponent over the first half of this game. He trailed by 57. So he'll need a few more in the last half. At the end of 5, here in the 3rd and final game, Ed Bourdase working on a triple. Ron Winger with 77 and a spare in the 5th. Here are the scores at the end of the first game. Ed Bourdase, 190 for Ron Winger, 224. Ronnie out in front now by 34 pins. He had 8 strikes out of a possible 12. Looked like he might go the 5 for the $250, but the 7 pin just a bit stubborn. Better luck this game, Ronnie. We're ready for the second game. Is Parkersburg ready? Winger now from the left side. The
Looks
big
good.
turn, and he's really solid. So Ronnie will have another crack at a single strike. See if he can pick up the double as Mr. Ed Bourdase moves in on the right side, working on 3 big ones. Still has a chance to string them out. $250 bonus for 5 strikes in a row. He has 3.
That's the one he wants, Freddie. I believe he's sitting to 37, a little better than this.
This is the big one. As Joe Donato says, this is his tough side. He's got to give it room. That's room enough.
Okay.
Oh, look at here.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's what you call piling them up in the left corner. That's 4 in a row for Bourdase. Now, this is the $250 ball. And, of course, every strike in addition to the 5 will be worth $50 more.
All he has to do is reach, Freddie.
He's got to reach. Bourdase now cutting it down. He's picked up some 33 pins. The margin now, just about 24 pins, and there are 4 frames to go. This one worth $250 for Ed Bourdase of Fresno, California.
And it looks good.
Yes, sir.
He really rolled that.
Well, Ed has, Bourdase, after crowding for 2 games, has really been giving that ball room and giving those pins a chance to do their job. The pins will help you if you'll keep it away from there. Now, Mr. Winger better get this one. Oh, Bourdase is going to fly right past.
A little high.
Be careful.
All right.
Well, Joe, you mentioned that would be a little high. We get fooled sometimes. The youngster set that one, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He set that one beautifully. So we go into the 8th, and the boys are moving. So at the end of 5, actually, filling in the 30s, Bourdase has picked up 33 pins. He trails by 24. Both boys on doubles. There are 3 frames to go. $1,000 hangs in the balance. Winger throws it out. Here it comes. He's got it. And the young fella now begins to make it pretty tough for Bourdase.
Beautiful.
So Winger, naturally, if he does what Bourdase does, the rest of this game, he can't possibly lose. He seems to have his hands where he wants them, or his right hand where he wants it. Very deep. Throws it out.
No.
He dropped it.
Hurry!
Did he save? And he got away with it.
Oh.
Well, that's
That's 2, I guess, wrong on.
another $50 on top of the $250. That's 6 in a row. So Bourdase now is $300 in the bonus department. The youngster will bowl out first, and Ed will know exactly what he needs if he can possibly win. Ronnie might shut the door on him. Here's a big turn. Look at here. Look at here.
Yeah, he's really...
Have you ever seen such action? Bourdase has had them dancing here for 5 in a row. Every ball has been on the thin side, and as Joe has pointed out to you, this fella throws this kind of a ball. When that thing is working and he keeps it thin, the pins actually fight to get down.
There's no way they'll stay up.
Winger has got to get this. Boy, he's got it, too. Well, there's no denying this little guy. He's not going to let Mr. Bourdase pass him, no way. If you strike every frame, your opponent just can't pick up a pin, that's all. So the 23 pins is still there. 24 pins. 24 pins. So if Winger does not strike here in this frame, but gets good counts, Bourdase can go all the way and still only pick up 20 pins. A strike here should cinch it for the youngster. And that is $250. That is 5 in a row for the young fella.
Beautiful.
What a great finish here. Mr. Bourdase can go all the way for 280, and he's going to lose this match. 280 will give him 662. The youngster can go all the way for 247 and 686. Once more, why not? There, look at that boy work. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have to get out the bonus checks this trip. Both boys are cashing in. Mr. Winger just made it $300 in bonus money. $50 more waiting for him with this strike, and a finish of 7 in a row. Bourdase can finish with 10 in a row. Ronnie Winger once more. Hey! Yes, sir. 247. What a great performance by Wing Ding Winger from Los Angeles, California. Bourdase, the veteran campaigner, made the move. He thought possibly that the youngster might fold under the pressure, but Mr. Winger just decided that he better start winging, and he winged 7 strikes in a row to pick up some bonus money. And here's Ed Bourdase, who is working on 7 in a row. A $50 ball, bonus ball, $50 a strike after 5 in a row. Another thin one?
No.
Too tight, the 4-9. That's the first ball that Bourdase had up in there, solid, and he pays the full penalty, the 4-9. Those thin ones, of course, were doing very well for Ed, and I believe he just thought possibly he might not get back there with another thin one.
That's right. Crowd it a little bit and get the 4-9.
Thought he'd hold the line, and it jumped at the last moment, the 4-9. Stops the string. He'll take 1 and settle for 240. Looks like 246. And what a finish. Ronnie Winger, 247. Ed Bourdase, 246. Both boys with bonus money here in the third and final game. We'll have the official scores and results, a word or two with these two fine bowlers in just a moment. This is Fred Wolf in Parkersburg, West Virginia. It's championship bowling. We'll see you in just a moment. Here are the official scores for Ed Bourdase from Fresno, California. 190, 192, a great finish, 246, the total 628. For Ron Winger, 224, 215, And a real great finish with his opponent coming on trying to make the win. 247, Winger, a total of 686. How about that there? Ronnie, congratulations. Were you a little concerned with Ed coming on there like he was?
Sure was. I thought I'd better get going, so...
Boy, you sure did. You picked
lucky.
yourself up $350 in bonus money en route there, boy.
Beautiful. That's all I got to say.
Beautiful. He likes that. Ed, these young guys are making it tough, aren't they?
Yes, I guess so. He's a little more strength than I have.
Well, I don't know. You seemed to be throwing that ball very well the last game. What was going on the first two games?
Oh, I was trying to fit the ball, get smart, and roll the ball, and I needed more speed, so I just made up my mind the last game to let go.
Let go.
Right.
As Joe Donato pointed out, who was working with us, he said that you were trying to fit them, and then when you started scattering them around, it was obvious you were letting the ball, what do they call that, swing a little bit?
Let it swing free, like I should have been doing the first two games.
Swing free. Well, you were swinging pretty good. $500 as a runner-up share. You had, 7 strikes in a row.
Beautiful.
For $350. That's not bad, $850 for losing. But listen to this.
Oh, that guy over there. That's right.
$1,000, Ronnie. You can buy yourself a new pair of skis, water skis, to go back to Los Angeles.
I'll need it.
And if you keep winning, you can buy a boat to pull the skis, too, pretty soon.
Pull me, Fred. I'm happy.
And here's $350 in bonus money for you.
Thank you.
Now, both of you boys will be making another appearance. I know you're interested in total pins. Ronnie, you got a great start, 686. We could just see you back here in the finals.
I sure hope so, Fred.
And how about you folks in Parkersburg? Would you like to have your Mr. back? Good luck to you. Ronnie, you're there. See you again. Don't go away now. We'll be right back with something very interesting. With us again this week on Championship Bowling is Esther Woods, a great All-American. And Esther, come on in here and meet Parkersburg.
I'm delighted to be here on Championship Bowling again, Fred.
Very good. Maybe some week we can have you bowl here.
I hope so.
Now, we've talked a lot about instructions. Let's do something different. Fashions, women's fashions. It seems as though the ladies are getting very conscious as to how they dress when they go bowling. You have some interesting information on that?
Yes, I do, Fred. With 12 million ladies bowling today and being as fashion conscious as they are, we've found that not only American designers, but European designers are participating in fashion models. We have here a young lady. She's dressed in a beautiful model, and this is for bowling fashions by Princess Irene Galitzine of Italy. If you will notice, this is a two-pieced overblouse of gray and white striped jersey. It has a skirt that wraps around and that cleverly conceals a pair of knee-length pants, but they are also connected with the skirt so that it looks just like a skirt, ladies. Isn't this nice? She's also wearing our Laurel model AMF bowling shoes, and she's carrying what we call and what we like and call the Lady Debonair bowling bag. This rounds out her ensemble for bowling. Don't say it, Fred. I know you're going to ask me whether or not she can bowl in this bowling costume. Well, let's take a look and see if Kitty can deliver the ball in this costume. Sure.
Very, very fine.
Thank you.
I wasn't really worrying about Kitty being able to throw the ball. I was worrying about I'd have to buy my wife an outfit like that, really.
Well, you don't even have to worry any more than I do because my husband's going to say the same thing, Fred, but I think you ladies and you gentlemen out there are going to say, well, it's a beautiful costume and it can be bowled in.
I agree. I like it. Everybody here like it? Everybody. Thank you very much, Kitty. Good luck. Good luck to you. Well, try to join us again next week on Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show. With over $75,000 in prizes, we'll come to you again from the beautiful Emerson Lanes here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Until then, this is Fred Wolf just saying, keep 'em bowling out there. matching shirts and slacks used on Championship Bowling by King Louie. Championship Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us to produce Championship Bowling.